Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Gentleman here, and it's like the middle of the night right now. I really want to go to bed and not record a video right now, but a crazy Taylor Swift fan story I promised, so a crazy Taylor Swift fan story I shall deliver. So we're going to hop right into it. The story takes place a couple days ago. As you all know, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie just came out in theaters, and I work at a movie theater, so lucky me. I got to go into work on that day that it was playing, and a lot of people came in to come see it. She's a pretty big deal. A lot of people like her. I'm pretty indifferent on Taylor Swift myself. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. I'm also not a fan. Like, I'm pretty indifferent, right? Like, there's a couple of her songs that I've heard. I'm like, hey, it's not that bad. But my opinion on Taylor Swift is not why we're here today. So I was just working, doing my thing, helping people get through these lines, buy their snacks, buy their tickets, get into a movie, the thing I do when I work at a place that does those things. And so for this whole concert movie thing, movie theaters, or at least most of them, and my location did anyways, we got sent these Taylor Swift merch, right? And there's a popcorn bucket and a drink cup. And a lot of people wanted to get them, and it was like a whole thing. Like, you can only sell 2 per customer, and you have to only sell it to them if they're seeing the movie, and they have to be able to present their ticket and all that. And I got to bypass that because my girlfriend wanted one of the cups, and I wasn't going to see the movies. My manager said technically I shouldn't be able to buy one, but my manager did actually let me buy one for my girlfriend, so shout out to her. But anyways, we were supposed to get the popcorn buckets on the same day that we got the cups, on the day the movie came out, but we didn't get them. Our shipment was delayed, so we didn't have any. So we'd have so many people coming up and being like, do you have the Taylor Swift popcorn bucket? And I have to tell them, unfortunately, no, I don't. Sorry about that. Our shipment was delayed. And most people were actually pretty understanding. I know some Taylor Swift fans are really crazy and all that. And there were some people coming in just for the bucket, and when we said we didn't have them, they'd leave and say oh, this is the 3rd theater we've been to and stuff. And but most people took it pretty well, which I was thankful for. I didn't have that many people that were that mad, until this one lady came up, and it was just her. And I was in the middle of saying hi, how are you today? In the middle of saying it, and she cuts me off, and she's like, do you have the Taylor Swift stuff? I'm like, and I tell her I have the cups. She's like, well, take as many as the cups as I'm allowed to have. I'm like, okay, well, I can sell 2 per customer. She's like, hey, I'll have 2 cups. And then I'm like, all right, is there anything else for you? She's like, yeah, I want the popcorn bucket too. So I explained to her, we don't have it. We didn't get the shipment yet. She's like, what? That's stupid, but the movie's out. You got the cups. Don't they come together? I'm like, well, I'd think so, but I'm not in charge of stock. And I've just been told by my managers we don't have any. We haven't got them yet. We should get them in a couple of days if you want to come back and grab one. She's like, well, that's dumb. We should have them now because the movie's out. I'm like, I agree with you that makes sense, but unfortunately we don't have them. And she kept basically reiterating the same point, right? She kind of just says the same thing 400 times. I feel that happens with a lot of people who have a complaint about something. They'll just they won't really make an argument. They'll say the same thing 8,000 times, and it's a lot of fun. I love that. And then eventually she agreed. She's like, okay, whatever, fine, I'll just get my cups. I'm like, all right, cool. And then rang her through, and she went on her way, and I went on the rest of my day. The entire rest of my shift, nothing happened. I didn't even really have that bad of customers. It was a lot better of a day than I was expecting. Until, of course, something just has to go wrong, because it always does. So I was literally clocking out. I was done my shift, so I clocked out, and I went to go to the back to get my stuff, change out of my uniform and grab my backpack and go home. But as I'm going back there, to get to the staff room, you have to go through, the stock room where we keep everything. And as I'm walking through there, I start hearing noises. And then I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I start looking around because I'm just generally curious, if maybe one of my managers or coworkers is back there and needs help carrying stuff, and I want to be helpful. So I'm looking around, and I kid you not, I see this same lady who was harassing me over this popcorn bucket just rooting through the stuff, rooting through the room where we keep all the cups and stuff. And I'm like, ma'am, what are you doing back here? And she's like, well, I know that you guys can't be all out of popcorn buckets. I'm like, well, I didn't say we were all out. I said we don't have any. She's like, well, that can't be the case either. Like, the movie's out. You have them. Everyone has them. So if you're going to hold them away from people so that you guys can have them, then I'm going to just go grab one myself. I'm like, we don't have any. I need you to leave. Like, you can't be back here. We don't have any. We're getting them on this day. Supposedly, you can come back then. If you show us your old ticket, we'll sell you a bucket. But she wasn't having any of that. She just kept arguing, saying like, oh, I know you have them. They're somewhere back here. And I eventually say like, ma'am, can you please just leave? Like, I don't want to have to call my managers and make this a whole thing. She's like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't want to make it a whole thing either. It's just so dumb. You guys are keeping these from the fans. Like, this is supposed to be a big thing for the fans. You guys are making the whole experience worse. I'm like, I'm sorry. We'll have the popcorn buckets on this day. You can come back then. She's like, yeah, okay. They're like a really condescending voice. And then she leaves, and I grab my stuff, and I leave too. And, man, I thought I was going to be able to say that the Taylor Swift fans surprised me and were really, really nice and easy to deal with. And you know what? For the most part, that is true. I'll give credit where credit's due. A lot of people made it really easy on me that day. So shout out to you, chill Taylor Swift fans. I appreciate you guys. Moral of the story, please don't be like this lady. Don't be a Taylor Swift fan, not a Taylor Swift stan, is how I'll put that. You can quote me on that one if you want. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the story time, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I've been away for a little bit. Kind of had a personal matter involving some people in my life. I've been a little busy trying to keep up with people. But yeah, I'm back now with this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And well, let's say 5 likes. The Midnight Man video almost got 5 likes. I'll probably do the challenge anyways. But 5 likes on this video, and I'll go into crowded Taylor Swift show, and I'll either yell Team Jake or Kanye Better. You guys get to choose if you get to 5 likes. But I think we can do it. Let's do it. I'll post a video of that if I end up doing it as well. But anyways, guys, if you did watch this far, thank you so much for watching. I've noticed a lot, like a growing viewership of my stories, and it's really making me happy. Thank you guys so much for blowing my stuff up. I say as if it's like 30 views is blowing it up, but thank you guys so much, and stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.